I'm Esme Mclean. So this is one of my pieces called Full House. A lot of my work comes from using like old family portraits and kind of like memories that I've been told, or kind of the stories that have been said like whilst looking at the photos. I've taken a lot of inspiration from this, and then with that I've been making sketches, paintings, and then finally ceramics, which I felt kind of embodied what I wanted to do the best, because I wanted to create kind of 3D theatrical scenes that kind of use like mundane settings but amplify them to make it look like a set or like a theatre scene. Yeah, I wanted to also put it into the corner because I felt that it kind of created a more like intimate setting with the viewer, so that whoever would be looking at it can come in closer and kind of engage with it, like with just the art itself and no one else kind of like watching around it, because there's just kind of like the walls and the art, which I found to be kind of like important to properly view my work. Don't be afraid to go up close and kind of like see all the little props and people, because yeah, I don't want there to be like a big distance from someone viewing my work. I want someone to be like this close and really looking at it, because there's all these little props inside the house, and I don't think you'd get like a good kind of picture of it if you're standing far away. So I'd definitely say the closer the better, because that's something that I really want my art to be, is like interactive. I think once I kind of see a photo that I like, or kind of parts of it like resonate with me, I start with a sketch first, and I thought that, especially using family photos, I wanted to make almost like an album of them. So I made my own sketchbook, I binded it, and then inside is kind of all the sketches that I've done, which are inspired or taken from my family portraits. And then from then I kind of make paintings and the ceramics along like together. So I kind of start with the ceramics, kind of building up the different characters, and then the painting side of it is to help just to create a more rounded scene, because like my ceramics look very different when they're against like a white background or there's nothing kind of there, but I thought to kind of make it like a fuller kind of body of work, I wanted to create like a whole scene, and I felt that a house would kind of represent my work in its best way, because it kind of like represents the memories and kind of nostalgia which I wanted to have for my work. Yeah, I really like Mike Kelly's work. His work's really cool, and I like kind of how it's not necessarily playful, but like some of the work he's done is recreations of old schoolbook pictures, and then he's like redone it with like adults instead, and I just found that kind of like recreation of something like really nostalgic and remake it was something that kind of I followed as well, kind of remaking photos and stuff, but in a different way. So I think my greatest influence with my ceramics has been Akio Takamori. He's this ceramicist, and their work, they create these like figurative sculptures, and they're just incredible. Like they're so beautiful, but also the technique that he used is something that I like adopted in my own work, because it's kind of like with oxides instead of kind of like glazes. His like ceramics are kind of quite raw looking, and then you can really see like the brush strokes, which is something that I really wanted in my own work, especially with my sketches being quite like figurative and quite like quite a lot of lines. I suppose like brushworks like complement my line drawings that I've already done already. So yeah, and hopefully like with the sketchbook as well, you'll see kind of like the correlation with my work. I think that's kind of it. I don't know. I studied fine art. I found it really, it's been an amazing course. I think also like this is where I've started doing ceramics, which is something like now that I love, and like I want to continue doing that. So it's really kind of like the beginning of kind of how my work is now, because I was doing like very different work kind of before I came here, and then here I've really developed my practice, and then kind of really kind of taken like a liking, but also like I've gained like a lot of confidence when doing ceramics here, which is something that I didn't think I'd do before. So yeah, I think I've learned a lot. Yeah, I was really, well I was quite emotional when I found out, because it's such an incredible like prize, and I couldn't really believe it really. But yeah, it feels amazing. Yeah, I've just set up my work now, so it looks really nice in the gallery space as well, especially with like the lighting, because then it kind of shows the like different shadows of the beams, which also is a nice kind of touch. But yeah, I feel great. But yeah, I think after I graduate, I'm really interested in doing residencies and kind of going abroad or wherever to kind of like help my practice grow in that sense, and kind of meet new people and people that like I wouldn't really have the chance to meet before. And then also I really want to get into scenic painting, and I want to like really try and get into set design and stuff. So that's kind of my two goals, is to get into that kind of like environment or kind of like workplace, because that is my end goal. So in 15 years time it's going to be a massive one, but yeah.